democracy, believed by many as the last bad of all political regimes that humanity has adopted through the generations and through time. Yes, it happens that we have made a very big step towards equality among humans. However, there is a small fail, and that's in the base. Democracy fails in the base because people, above all, those who live in those countries, those developing countries, they have no capacity of taking political decisions. Just an absurd. Yes, we have taken a big step forward, as now we can participate in the process of elections of politicians, of our representatives. However, there is a great mistake, and that is in education. When you go to a market and you want to buy a certain food or certain clothes, whatever, if you want to buy jeans, you have to know the texture, what it smells like, how long time it's gonna last. That's how you take your decision. But concerning democracy, we don't do the same. We just go vote, and I'm speaking about developing countries because it happens differently in some developed countries where people have more access to information, where the government really does what it's meant to do, that is giving people security, health, and above all, education. So people can take decisions accordingly, so people can choose better. And if it doesn't happen in developing countries, and that's really something really bad. Democracy was created in Greece, in the region that's today's Greece, right? In the 5th century before Christ, when Clisthenes defeated the lost tyrant. That was beautiful. Then they developed a very good and complex. I say good because actually the population was smaller, and they had more control and people could participate more. I mean, free citizens, right? Free people were considered to be citizens of those polis, politica. The word politics comes from polis. Polis was how the Hellenic people organized themselves. It was not in cities, not in states, not in countries. They were called polis. And the polis was in a certain point, it was well managed because people could really participate. I mean, citizens, slaves and foreigners, they were excluded from the system. However, democracy died during the Middle Ages, and then it came back in the modern age, right? We had the French Revolution that put an end to absolutism. I mean, put an end to the monarchies, to the kings. The kings would not rule without obstacles anymore. However, it's another fallacy that we can talk about later. So in today's world, in developing countries, people take political decisions when they are offered some food or some teeth, as it's in Brazil's case. The politicians, they come to the people and they just get a teeth and give me your vote. People have no idea, and it's not their fault. It is not their fault. They don't have information to take a decision, and we trust the government. We pay taxes, we pay many kind of taxes, and we expect that the government will give us back somehow, and they just don't. They just act in a very selfish and egocentric way. Okay, they just instead of taking that money from taxes that we pay and put it back into society in order for people to develop themselves, because this is the meaning of life, making people develop themselves and develop yourself. They just take that money and put it into their pockets, and that is really, it makes someone really angry. In the end, people don't get information. In the end, people cannot choose right for themselves. They choose right for the politicians, right? Because the politicians, they use marketing to get votes. It's like I give you something and you give me your vote, and you know what marketing does? The meaning of marketing is acquiring customers, clients, and keeping them, capitalizing them, keeping them buying from the same supplier. That's an absurd. That's what politicians do. Neuromarketing is there for it. And there is one thing called political marketing that's just fucked up. Don't you see it? Sorry for the word. However, that's not fair. They are talking to our reptilian primitive brain, and that's how we take decisions. We are humans. You should give people information so that people can take decisions with the new cortex, right? So, That's unfortunately the sad reality of developing countries such as Brazil, where I'm from. And well, really the ultimate act of rebellion against this all system that has been built through generations is really study. But people don't know how profitable studying can be because they were not told when they were kids. And as you can see, it just becomes a cycle. And it's difficult to take people out from ignorance. Ignorance is really a barrier. I say it because I've been there. I was born poor. I mean poor mentally, and it's difficult to go out. It's like a bubble, and you try to. People tell you you understand it, and then you go to the try, you just go back. It's very difficult to win over it. However, it's government's responsibility to make people develop themselves, and on the other hand, they don't wanna let go of their yachts and airplanes and comfort and luxury hotels because that would be very painful. Instead, they take money of those people who work all month to get a small salary that's not enough even to pay the bills and to eat. They pay taxes with sweat. They take the politicians, they take this money and put it into their pockets. That's really unfair because they are stealing energy from people who don't think about growing, about getting information, about politics, because they're thinking on what they have to eat the next day. So come on. If there was really a heaven and a hell, politicians, you know where you're going to.